the second at the end of January 2022, and the last at the end of February 2022. While the Commission has indicated that it is ready to hand over the report today, 31 December 2021, as it had committed, the formal handover of the report will only take place early next week due to the mourning period in the honor of our late Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu, which I've already said is going to be Tuesday. According to the court order of the 28th December, the President will have until 30 June 2022 to submit the report to Parliament with an indication of his intention with regards to implementation of the Commission's recommendation. As the President indicated to the court, only once the final installment has been received will it be possible to have complete sight of the report's implications and to develop an implementation plan on the recommendations. The President Ramaphosa has decided that each part of the report will be released to the public immediately after it is submitted to the President by the Commission. The handover of the first part of the Commission report will take place, as I have already stated. The first one will take place on Tuesday next week, venue Union Building. That's how far the statement on the handing over of the report is concerned, Mike. Because we issued the statement on the COVID, we'll deal with the questions which are relevant in that aspect. Thank you, Mike.
Apologies.
Thank you.
Thank you very kindly, Minister, for that brief statement. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, please feel free to, by show of hands, as Peliswa will open up for you. Please let me see by show of hand, any of you who'd like to pose a question to the Minister. And I see a lot of famous names here, well-known media names, so please feel free, ladies and gentlemen. So there, Heidi, I've got Heidi's hand first. I've got Enzo. I'm going to take 5 for now, if I may. I'll take Heidi. I'll take Enzo. And anybody else who wants to kick off the ball? And as Minister said, you did, I'm sure, and thank you very much to all of you. You covered quite extensively our statement of last night, which is also part of the deliberations. And we've seen some very enthusiastic responses from the public to that. Okay, and then Nokukanya. Ms. Mhlauli, are you going to ask a question? Okay, so let's go. I'm going to take the first 5. It's Heidi, and then Enzo, and then Nokukanya, Nkambu. Noku. Peli, would you please allow in that order, please? Thank you very much. Heidi.
Oh, there we go. Hi, it's Heidi Jockers from ENCA. I just wanted to find out, I'm not sure if I missed it because the statement was dropped late, but in terms of the curfew, it says that it will be lifted with immediate effect. Do we know for how long there will no longer be a curfew? Is it just for the next week, or what was the decision around that? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Heidi.
Recording in progress.
Enzo, if you just also introduce your house to us, please, Enzo. That's Enzo L. Sis Pelly, could you unmute Enzo L, please? Okay, we're not hearing from Enzo, so let's take Sis Nokukanya in the meantime, please. Can we please unmute Sis Nokukanya, please, Pelly?
I'm unmuted. Thank you. Good morning. Nokukanya here from Jacaranda FM. 2 questions from me. Last December, government had decided to keep the lockdown in place to ease the pressure on the healthcare sector as a result of the large casualties that were reported during the festive season. And we're in this festive season now, a day before or a couple of hours before one of the busiest days during the festive season, and we have the curfew lifted. Can we just get a sense of what informed that particular decision? And then the second one, can we also expect for the state of the national disaster management to be lifted anytime soon as well? Because we see you're getting pressure from various sectors as well to lift that. Are there any considerations? Is Cabinet and the NCCC discussing that as well? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mtambo. Clear enough. Do we have Enzo yet, Peliswa? It seems like Enzo we're having a struggle with. In the interim, is there any other colleague who'd like to pose a question before I end off with this first set of 3 or so questions for Minister, please? Okay. For now, we seem to okay. Okay, here we go. Either Sis Peliswa or Sis Nongaba, could you please read out Enzo's question to Minister in the chat, please? Okay, team, I'll assist with that. Minister, the gentleman by the name of Enzo has asked the following question. Enzo, if you'll be kind enough to type your media house here, please. Will the Zondo report be given to journalists on Tuesday? Thank you. Will the Zondo report be given to journalists on Tuesday? Minister, the question from Enzo. Thank you, Enzo, for typing. Let's have a look. No more hands. Minister Gungubele, would you like to take those first few, please, sir?
Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Heidi, for the question. The intention of the Cabinet is to lift the curfew as the Cabinet has done. The hope is that the curfew should stay, the lifting should stay. Remember the background, Heidi, is that the biggest challenge, whilst the challenge, we're trying to balance between livelihoods and saving lives. At all material times, we try to adjust that balance given the given circumstances. One that, as we sit here today, it is the view of the experts that Omicron has reached its peak. Because it has reached its peak, it is not expected to go beyond the peak. And because below that peak, clinical manifestations have not led to a significant change in the hospital load. That picture being at our disposal, the key thing then, what do we do about the economy, which is struggling? And our attempt, therefore, is to exploit every opportunity where we open up for the economy. So our hope is that the curfew will stay lifted, we'll monitor the circumstances at any given point in time. If the conditions so desire, the curfew will come back. We hope our people will take advantage of this, including business, and make sure that the conditions for actually bringing back the curfew do not arise by making sure that, one, they put their mask on, they distance socially, and they vaccinate at a higher rate, all the necessary measures that undermine bringing the curfew back. We hope our people will take advantage of that. Therefore, my point is that we wish it never comes back, but we will watch the situation. If the reasons, if the conditions so desire, ID, that will happen. Now, I think I've already in a way answered Nokanya when she asked the question, what informed the decision? I've already said, Nokanya, I think I will repeat it for yourself because you also asked this question, that according to the experts, Omicron has reached the peak. Having reached the peak with clinical manifestations that have not caused any alarm in the hospital situation. In the minds or based on the experts, the conditions do allow that we lift the curfew. And I've already explained some of the key demands in the country, creating a situation where every opportunity that allows us to open up for economy, we take advantage of that. We will monitor the situation on hour by hour basis. If there's any difference, we will respond accordingly. On the ENZO, the decision is that the report will be published immediately. It may not be Tuesday, but it will be published during the course of next week. It might be published on Tuesday, but it will be published. We're not going to keep it. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, for that. I'm confident that we can take another round, and I'd like to hand over to my colleague, Sis Nongcebo Mhlauli. Nongcebo, are you there, my dear, to give us a sense of the questions in the chat groups? Nongcebo?
You have no connection.
And folks, I do hope that there aren't challenges with sound. Since Pelisa was saying there's a few problems with sound. If you're experiencing that, don't hesitate to call Peli. Thank you, Nongcebo.
Hello.
Yes, please proceed, Nongcebo, with the questions from the chat group.
Nongcebo is about to do that. If you can give a minute.
Most certainly. While I wait for Sis Nongcebo, are there Heidi, I don't know if yourself and Mr. Mtambo, if your hands are old hands. In both of your cases, I wouldn't classify them as old hands, Heidi, and but legacy hands. Okay, thank you. Enzo's hand
is ready.
Thank you, Nongcebo.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Nongcebo, thank you.
Yes, Nongcebo,
we have a question from Samoon Naidu, a freelance journalist. And the question is, South Africa has ended 2021 with no national remembrance or mourning for those who we lost during the July unrest. Why is this so? Or has government forgotten these families? Another question is, has Cabinet decided on a policy on how to handle individuals in government who are implicated in the State Capture Commission report? Those are the only two questions so far. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much. And Enzo, I saw your hand go up again. Was it a repeat question or was it just error? And then before I hand back to Minister, I'd like to invite any other member of the group here to raise your hand. Covered, Enzo, thank you. Any other member of the media who'd like to pose a question? Mr. Mtambo, are you back on the floor?
Yes, please, Mike.
Right. Nokukanya, please proceed with your following question.
Thank you. So the first one is just the minister didn't answer the question about the National State of Disaster Act and any possibility of it being lifted or any considerations being made on that.
She's correct.
And then the second one, please, if I can just slip one in, just on security measures ahead of the Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu's funeral tomorrow, if the minister is able to give us any details about deployment. I know obviously you can't give specifics, but if you could just talk to us around that as well, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mtambo. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to give 1 second for anybody else, and then I think perhaps we'll take it to the end after that. Right, Minister Gungubele, we don't seem to have any other hands. So with those last questions, I'd like to pass over to you again, please, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you very much again to the media, ladies and gentlemen, for this engagement. I just wanted to say to Mr. Naidu, and who always participates in these media sessions, and we highly appreciate that mourning of the lost is an ongoing thing by our government. Whether it's during disaster or those who lost their lives during COVID, the state of mourning continues. How then do you decide on a regular basis who do you mourn by what time to give prominence with regard to a particular event? those discussions continue to be, the discussions continue to consider such events, but we stay in mourning for those who lost their lives, including those who died during the July unrest. And then the next question from Ms. Knight is how to handle those who are implicated in state capture, if I got him clearly. Until we see the report and the president has got a full sight of the entire report, we are not able to say how, but I can assure you they'll be handled in line with the prescripts of the laws of South Africa. And of course, with our moral stand being at the center with regard to fighting corruption in our country. And again, no, Nogukanya is correct on the state of disaster. I just want to make a general statement to Nogukanya that government doesn't like the state of disaster. Circumstances dictate when do you lift it. Like we have just said to you, every little opportunity that is given, we exploit it to open up for the economy. I'll just give you an example. We've been approached by a number of people who told us how their businesses are suffering during midnight, between 12 and whatever time. And when the experts in health advise us on the peak and related factors, that created conditions for us to get in there, make sure that those people do their business. We would want a situation where the entire economy is in full swing. But the danger is, Nokanya, we should not do away with the tool that enables us to intervene in situations like this. So the state of disaster is that tool that helps us in case an unplanned situation around COVID, whatever, visit our shores. We must be able to use that tool to deal with that. Without the state of disaster, we will be actually decapacitated. So it is against that background. We can't just wake up and actually remove the state of disaster. But let me assure you, we are praying every day that conditions for doing away with it do actually come our way. On the security, the security generally is organized. And I'm happy that you are very much aware. I didn't give you details of that. The security cluster would assist, but I can assure South Africans around the service of the bishop, there's a clear, deliberate intention to ensure that the companionship of such a great human being in our country is done in a dignified and a peaceful way. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Gungubele, most kindly. Ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of the end of the year, I think I'll give one more opportunity for anybody to raise their final question, and then we'll move to a close. Any other last questions to the Minister? Okay, I'm not seeing any. And Minister, it looks like we've drawn to the end of the briefing. And I think that I'd like to thank you for taking the opportunity to bring us into confidence as a country and as a media fraternity joined here today on such an important matter. I'm sure Noneba will be available if any folks would like some one-on-ones afterwards. And also, secondly, Minister, I think as the acting head of GSAS, it wouldn't be prudent if I didn't really thank the media very sincerely for the work they've done with us this year. And also, thank you very much, colleagues in the media, for your sustained work around covering the COVID protocols. As Minister said, part of why we are here now is because we have, as a nation, been able to turn a corner around non-pharmaceutical behaviors. We haven't got to 70% vaccinated, but we're on 40%. And that's a huge achievement as a country. And because of that, we are starting to see that opportunity to start changing into another version of a new normal. And please, members of the media, we really appreciate the role you've played and encourage you very, very much in this season of festivities with the security machinery in place that we have a safe and a happy festive season, and particularly tonight as people welcome the new year in, that we do that with mindful that COVID hasn't left us, and it is still here. So, Minister in the Presidency, Honorable Minister Gungubele and your team, thank you for availing yourself. To members of the media, thank you for participating. And to the GSAS team and the Presidency team who had to mobilize, even some colleagues who are on a semi-leave, thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, I'd like to draw to a close our briefing from the discussions of Cabinet yesterday.
Happy New Year, Happy New Year,
Happy New Year
everyone.
to everybody in the country.
Drive
Thank you very
safe
much.
and stay alive.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you're a journalist, you're always on semi-leave during this time. Big takeaways from that briefing. Firstly, the Zondo report. First part, we understand, will be handed to the President on Tuesday. It will be submitted, as you know, in 3 parts, with the last part of that report at the end of February 2022. The report, as you heard from the Minister in the Presidency, will be published, so it will be accessible from the media point of view, and of course we will break it down for you as and when we receive it. Now, the special cabinet meeting held yesterday has also approved several changes to the adjusted alert level 1 COVID-19 regulations, and we understand, based on the trajectory of the pandemic, the levels of vaccination in the country, and the available capacity within the health sector, Cabinet has decided to make the following changes to the adjusted alert level 1 with immediate effect. We've been reporting from last night that the curfew is lifted. There will be no restrictions on the hours of movement of people. Gatherings are restricted to no more than 1,000 people indoors and no more than 2,000 people outdoors, and where the venue is too small to accommodate these, the venue may be used. All other restrictions, as you know, remain in place. The NCCC says it will continue to closely monitor the situation and will make further adjustments as necessary, particularly if pressure on the health facilities increases. Also, this is an important one. The wearing of masks in public places is still mandatory, and failure to wear a mask when required remains a criminal offence. South Africans are urged to continue observing basic health protocols to prevent the transmission of the virus. So, how did we get here? The world is observing 2 years since China detected the coronavirus. COVID-19 has now spread globally. Our international news editor, Sophie Mokoena, compiled this report looking back at the pandemic's lifespan.